Welcome to the Purgatorious Pig Tavern podcast, the Dungeons and Dragons and craft beer drinking podcast. I'm your GM, Scott, and we have a special episode for you today. We are digging into the depths of Mith cellar to bring you some of the breweries we think are must-visit places and places we want to visit that we haven't been to so far. So we'll go around the table and introduce everyone who's drinking today.
This is Short Stack.
Rick Roger here. Little Buddy is not here.
Little Buddy won't make. Little Buddy doesn't talk.
Little Buddy, yeah, you can't rate it, so. This is basically Mith Doris's travel agency. We run a travel agency upstairs, and people come and say, where should we go? And we just direct them towards the breweries that we think that they should go to. So today we're doing a bunch of breweries that we've meant to get to, but we haven't yet. But hopefully you guys can, and let us know how they are.
Yeah. So we're going to start off with Founders Brewing, which is out of Grand Rapids. We actually, a bunch of us were on a road trip during COVID, and unfortunately we had to deviate from each other because some party members caught it. So we separated and went separate ways.
You could tell them the story. We were at Cole and Christina's wedding. So the two main members that aren't here today, they got married out in Wisconsin.
Are you saying that Brandy and Line,
Marlo,
thank you, got married?
Yeah, we already went over that last episode. But yeah, we were on a road trip to Cole and Christina's wedding. On the way back, we decided to hit a bunch of breweries and go to some places that we haven't been to. We had a lot of fun up until Aaron got COVID at Wrigley Field in the bleacher section. Aaron and I had to go back, and Scott and Ashley couldn't go back because their house was being renovated at the time, so they couldn't go back, and we had to split off. But we did have plans to get to a couple different breweries, so two of the ones we did plan to go to are what we're going to start with. First one being Founders in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We even had a gift card, like we bought gift cards to plan for this thing, and wah.
We were hopeful.
So Scott, which Founders did we bring?
So today we are going to be drinking Founders Porter, roasted coffee notes and graham cracker sweetness. It is part of their Venture series.
Curious to see how much of KBS comes through on this.
How much KBS comes through?
Yeah, I gotta think it's like a KBS base. Well, it's a flagship for a reason.
Yeah. I don't think this is one of their flagships, but it probably should be.
This is a destination brewery. Oh, is this the reason why we're here?
Yes.
Talk about destination breweries. I'm on board now.
Founders as a brewery, one of the biggest names out there probably. If you know craft beer, you've probably had Founders.
They're now owned by AB InBev, I believe?
I believe so, yes. If not, one of the other big boys.
Yeah, if not, somebody fact check us.
Right. As Eric was saying, part of the road trip, Ashley and I had to deviate. We actually made it to their sister tasting room in Detroit. Unfortunately, RIP. They closed down, I think, a little over a year and a half ago at this point. Wish I'd actually been able to make it to the Grand Rapids location. The one in Detroit was more of a brew pub type feel, more just we go in, order, they had Founders beer available. The food was delicious.
Oh, good.
Definitely still, this probably falls in my top 3 breweries that I want to get to or have been to. So
tell us more.
So my top 3 places for me for breweries, Stone Brewing out in Escondido. I've been there twice. Dogfish Head down in Milton, Delaware. I've been there half a dozen times probably at this point. And then Founders, I'll count as I've half been there because I've been to the Detroit one and not the Grand Rapids one.
That's fair.
Definitely, this is still on my bucket list to get to.
Yeah, same here. I mean, we bought, I don't know, $200 worth of gift cards so we could splurge for ourselves and make it a nice evening. And we still have those gift cards. Thanks, Obama, for making them never expire.
Like Bed Bath & Beyond coupons?
Yeah, kind of.
All right.
Bed Bath & Beyond coupons last longer than Bed Bath & Beyond.
I don't think that's possible. So talking about this beer, it says let me read the bottle real quick. I thought I saw sweetness on the bottle. Yeah, graham cracker sweetness. Coffee roasted notes. I get the coffee roasted notes. I don't get the sweetness as much, but I'm not upset about that. I was a little afraid that it would be overly sweet beer.
Kind of syrupy?
Yeah, but it's really like it's maybe the graham cracker toastiness instead of a sweetness that I'm getting. If they added some cinnamon to this, it would be really good, though, to add a little bit of sweetness.
Probably just their winter warmer.
That would be a winter warmer, yeah.
No, I'm sure it's not. I'm sure they have a much better recipe than just throw some cinnamon in the porter.
It comes in pretty light on the palate, 6.5%, so that makes sense. And it says low bitterness on the can, but I don't. It's complemented by a low bitterness, but there's a little bit more bitterness. Maybe if we aged it.
Coffee bitterness, I think.
Yeah.
It's coffee bitters, not hoppy bitters. So I think that's why the IBU is still low.
This is really good. I would, if I'm going to rate this, I would give this a 18 out of 20.
For a porter, yeah.
For a porter, yeah. It's not too heavy, not too light. Just the right amount of malt to hop to carbonation ratio. But also the malt mix that they use is top notch. It's really good. This is a throwback, but it used to be nice malt backbone. That's what they used to call it. Yeah, they probably still do.
Yeah, I'll give this one a 17. Might just be partial seasonal bias right now. It's spring, not for me, not necessarily a porter season, but it is delicious.
Oh, well, buckle up. I don't think we have a lot of spring beers in our lineup tonight.
Yeah, what's your rating?
Oh, my rating. I think for a porter, it is really good for the style. So I would go with an 18 as well. So rounding up 18 overall. I would get this again. We might have to start our ratings lower.
No.
At some point, because it's really hard to tell what's like exceptional beer versus a pretty good beer. If I were to give this a pretty good beer, maybe it'd be a 15.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that you're drinking a beer. It's already pretty good. If you're drinking a beer, it's already a 15 out of 20, unless it sucks.
No, that's true.
You're already drinking a beer. Good for you for getting through the week. That's why my ratings are so stupid.
Your bell curves all the way on the right-hand side. So we're going to get up our next beer in just a second here.
No, I was trying to think of something else to say about Founders.
Oh, well, yeah, their actual flagships would be KBS or CBS. KBS is a Imperial Stout, I want to say, and CBS.
Yeah, KBS is the Kentucky Breakfast Stout.
Yeah, Kentucky Breakfast Stout.
I don't know. That's the thing. That's a flagship now, but it used to be very, very hard to get. Where it was,
I think
it came out once a year. I think it was before they got bought by the big boys, and it was very difficult to find. If you heard about it, I remember somebody at work was like, actually it was JD. JD was like, "Oh, they have it at this liquor store," and I was like, "All right." Went over to that liquor store, and sure enough, they're like, "You can buy 1 4-pack."
Right.
Yeah, and then we went to Maryland to a liquor store, or DC actually.
DC, yeah.
And they had like a whole bunch, like 4.
Had
four
from,
4-packs.
From like 3 years prior.
Yeah, we bought them out. But you're right, and now it's everywhere. It's on every shelf. So now it's a flagship, and then
now they have
CBS.
Now they have so many variants of it. CBS was the first variant, and I think that was the only variant.
They added maple.
That was done prior to being bought out. But I could be wrong.
But
So
yeah,
fact
now
check me on that.
they have like a coffee variant and a
Caramel variant.
yeah, probably a mint variant.
Girl Scout cookie variant.
What else? They have
All Day IPA.
All Day IPA. Yeah, that's the flagship. There we go. We got there. Destination is Founders. Flagship is All Day IPA.
They're one of the few places that still do Scottish ale
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
with is that Backwoods?
Backwards
right?
bastard.
Yeah, I think so.
Backwards bleep.
It's on the label.
We also have an explicit rating, so we can swear.
Oh, that's for our so we could put out an unexplicit
Yeah,
rate.
for our under 21 listeners. Jesus.
Exactly.
We do not condone underage drinking.
No. The next thing that we were trying to do was we almost got tickets to the Detroit Tigers game because they were in town.
Yep.
And then on the way back, we were going to stop in Rochester.
On the way back from our road trip.
Yes.
Yes.
We were going to stop in Rochester for a night. After that, we were talking about doing one more stop in Cooperstown, which is, most people know it as the home to the Baseball Hall of Fame. And if you haven't been, it's interesting. It's pretty cool. Definitely bring your dad there. He'll like it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, little kids like it, too. There's nothing to do there, but...
At the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Yeah, there's really nothing to do there.
You just look at old baseball stuff.
Yeah. It's still fun. It's still memorable.
In the same town is another brewery that we've been really meaning to get to, which is...
Ommegang Brewery out of Cooperstown, New York. These guys are one of the OGs in craft beer, I'd say. They've been around for a very long time, as long as I can remember drinking craft beer. They're best known for their Three Philosophers Quadrupel Ale, which is what we'll be drinking now.
Oh, you got Three Philosophers?
I went with the classic Three Philosophers.
Yeah, okay.
It's a flagship for a reason.
There we go. Yes.
Well, they also made the Game of Thrones beers, right?
Yes, they partnered with Game of Thrones and released that whole line of beers, which for a while, I actually had a few of them on draft locally. It was interesting.
Really? Where'd you have them on draft?
Prime 16 Orange location before that closed.
Oh.
People can really narrow down where we are based on, they're going to triangulate.
Yeah, I'm sure anybody cares.
They could just do that by clicking on any of our links that I tag in Instagram. It wouldn't take that hard.
Triangulate location. Cheers, guys.
So Ommegang is they're a Belgian style brewery. One of the very few in North America that is primarily focused on Belgian beers. They've been around for quite some time. They make a lot of Belgians that are very, very good. This is Three Philosophers?
Three Philosophers.
Three Philosophers. They make a couple other ones that are, what's that stout they make? They make a Belgian stout that's fantastic. I think they make a Belgian white too. Because how could you not?
I used to get a lot of their beers when I was first starting off in the craft beer scene and had a little bit of cash from working. Three Philosophers is a blend with, I'm going to murder this, Crikey Ale.
Oh, it's that's the Polish one, the Crike Ale or whatever.
Ale with cherries.
I haven't been to their spot. We've been meaning to get there, and we thought we were going to be going there. So excited.
Even though you don't like Belgians that much.
Yeah, but it's a great place to stop. You gotta put that notch in your belt. Put that notch in the bedpost.
Well, no, it wouldn't be a notch in the bedpost. Be a notch in your tap handle, probably.
Well, that's another saying. Notch in your tap handle.
Yeah.
So Ommegang is one of
Sounds
those.
so gross.
Ommegang, though, is one of those interesting case studies almost, because they, as I said in the introduction of them, is they were one of the OGs in craft beer, pretty much everywhere, not necessarily readily available, but most people had heard of it, and you could get it relatively easily. Then the IPA craze hit, and they just stuck to their guns and kind of lost market share. Almost like they're not as readily available as they are anymore. Even being essentially right next door for us, it took me a bit to find their stuff.
Well, that's another interesting conversation, which is, some of the places that we were looking for today, particularly the West Coast stuff when we get there, we were trying to find stuff that, we haven't been to, because as the travel agents for Mith Doris's beer travel agency or whatever we'll call it.
Are we the travel agents?
Yeah, I guess we're the travel agents. That's how we make our money at the bar.
That's a new storyline.
I don't know. But
so confused. All right,
we've
go
been
on.
a lot of places, but there's a bunch of places that we hadn't gone to, particularly ones that used to be very, very big around here. And it's very hard for us to find them. And it's good and bad, right? Because the market itself is
saturated
with local, which is great because, drink local, drink craft. But at the same time, when you want to go find one of those classics from out west, it's getting harder and harder for us to find, which is, I don't know, good, bad, I don't know.
Sounds like an untapped business to open up a liquor store in the area that only sells stuff sells out of state stuff.
They get run out of town. There's a bunch of people that walk into liquor stores and they're like, why don't you have my local brewery here? I've seen that quite a bit where they're like, oh, why don't you have insert your local brewery? And the guy's like, I don't know, the distributor just didn't have it.
But it's interesting though, because most of the older style, not older, but the beers that we could get years ago, like Ommegang, I would put Rogue up there. And I thought they just stopped distributing completely. Oh, Brooklyn Brewery, that's another one.
That's another, yeah.
Yeah, they stopped distributing completely to Connecticut, but that's not true. It's just that they're not on the shelves anymore. And these are ones that you want to go back to and get their flagship beers. I'm hoping that Black Chocolate Stout from Brooklyn is always sold on the shelves in Connecticut, but you can't find it. You can't find it in cases like you could before.
It's that, or we all need to write to the Senate so they can change the rules so we can just order directly from breweries. So I can order Dead Guy Ale directly from Rogue because I can't find it in my state anymore.
Let's cut out even more middlemen. I love it.
It's possible that, some of and I haven't looked into this, but the quantity that they're brewing is smaller maybe.
It's
and
possible
keeping
that
it
they've
more
been
local and not brewing enough barrels to distribute outside the state the way they were before, but
That's
like
possible.
downsizing.
Homegang's a pretty big operation.
Yeah.
Yeah, like even hunting for the beers for this episode, you're trying to find something East Coast, Midwest, West Coast, and even very well known West Coast things. I didn't find Sierra Nevada. I stopped at 4 different liquor stores or packies for the locals. One of the 4 had Sierra Nevada. That's it.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I usually get that in the grocery store.
So let's talk about 3 philosophers, which I'm surprised it's not 4 philosophers, but I'm sure there's a story behind that.
There is, it's not on the bottle.
Let's get our audio bot guy to fact check it.
Yeah, little buddy's our fact checker.
Yeah.
Great example of the style. The cherries do play nicely with it. They do come through. They definitely use tart cherries, not the sweet ones. If you haven't had it, you're missing out. I'm gonna give this a 19.
This is a very good beer for the style. It's not my style, as we've talked about before, but for what this is, the cherries do a really good job of mellowing out some of the harsher flavors of the Belgian yeast. It's got a really, really, really nice, rich malty base, and it's just fantastic. I wouldn't drink a ton of this beer, but for what it is, it's really, really good. I'm going to agree with Scott and give it a 19.
I love this beer. This is one of the first like Omegang beers I believe I've had. And I love Belgian styles. And I would also give this a 19. What? Did I say
Belgian.
Belgium?
Belgian with an N.
IAM.
I thought when you speak of it in terms of like
the country is Belgium.
Belgium, yeah. Belgium is the country. Belgian beer is the beer.
So the Belgian beer. A little bit about the 3 Philosophers is a painting.
Oh, it is?
The 3 Philosophers is a painting by let's beep boop little buddy in here. By a Venetian noble, Taddeo Contrani. Oh, Contraini. I definitely nailed that name. He died a year before it was finished.
What do you mean he died a year before it was
this
finished?
this is really difficult to explain, but the 3 Philosophers was finished 1 year before the painter died.
Painting was finished before he died.
Yeah, he died a year later.
So that's a much better way of saying it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you reading a backwards like Wikipedia article?
probably.
No.
These things aren't edited well.
No, they still haven't taken off that Randall Park was part of our business ethics thing.
Yeah. So essentially it appears to be named after a painting. It probably should be named with a Tripel beer because that makes more sense in my head. But despite the name, faux pas, I give it also a 19. I feel like we're starting our ratings way too high.
Have you tried these beers? These beers are
They're
fantastic.
delicious.
We're picking the cream of the crop here.
This is like, to me, this is like a great nightcap beer
Yeah.
because of the cherries.
Mm-hmm.
It is like one of those, like you sit by Christmas time, by a fire, end of the night, sipping on one of these.
A nightcap, yeah, after dinner nightcap kind of takes the place of dessert a little bit because of the sweetness. Pairs well with a pecan pie. I'm sorry, pecan pie for those of you that understand that better.
Our plan on that trip was to get to Founders, get to Omegang, get home at some point. We had to cut the trip early because of COVID and missed those 2 breweries. But if you get a chance to get to them, do it. If you're Cooperstown, why not check out the Baseball Hall of Fame? Or it's probably the other way around, actually. If you're checking out the Baseball Hall of Fame, just go check out Omegang. In honor of the 2 people that aren't here with us today, they have a lot of stuff going on. We wish them the best.
A lot of stuff on their plate going on,
Yeah.
like spaghetti.
Yep, there's too much spaghetti.
Their spaghetti policy.
What's that meatball song? On top of Old Smoky, or covered in cheese. I lost my poor meatball because somebody sneezed. Yeah,
Yeah.
they got too much on their plate right now.
Oh, I forgot about that song.
It's
It's like a middle school song.
I think that's public no
sc-
name. I
Yeah.
think we can do that. But they turned us on to this brewery. Haven't been. We didn't get a chance while we were in Chicago because that's exactly where we had to cut the whole thing short. But this brewery is called Dovetail Brewing. They're a great brewery out of, I believe it's the north end of Chicago. They're like maybe like half mile less from Wrigley Field.
You're an artifactor. You're not a geographer, so.
This brewery is Dovetail Brewing. one of the places that we'd love to get to. And today we're going to have their Vienna style lager. So Vienna lager is kind of an interesting style. That's the style that was made famous by Sam Adams' original Boston lager. That's actually a Vienna lager.
Oh, fun fact. Did not
fun
know
fact,
that. You didn't
yeah.
even need Little Buddy for that one.
No, that was a good one. That's one of the ones that I compare Vienna styles to.
So that would be the baseline and then above or below that
Yeah,
for tastings.
sure.
All right, we probably should have had that first. So when I think of Vienna style, I think of like slightly dry, a little bit of hops coming through, and a little bit of smokiness. I feel like they should all have a little bit of smokiness. It's like those three things.
Why has everything got to be smoky with you?
No. I think that's when I think of a Vienna, usually when you have a Vienna.
You think of Little Smokies.
Oh, yeah, little tiny sausages.
Yeah, there you go. Am I wrong?
No,
Or am I thinking another style of beer?
I don't know. I usually think of like sweet, crisp.
Smoky.
No,
A little hoppy, a little dry.
a little hoppy, a little dry, no smoke.
I'm getting a little smoke from this beer. And I like it.
As Eric said, we were hoping to have hit this brewery up while we were in the area. Didn't get to. We did hit up another local one, though, near Wrigley Field.
Uncommon Grounds.
Uncommon Grounds.
Yeah, that was good.
Little hole-in-the-wall place. Shout out to them. But yeah, we've heard a lot about Dovetail. Not something we're able to get locally. Always a pleasure to drink their beer when we can get it. The lager, crisp, fits the season right now. Good spring beer. Also a little bit lighter than the two other beers we've had so far today. So figure it's a good change of pace a little bit to break things up a little bit before we drink some other heavier beers on this road trip of ours here.
What?
Spoilers.
It's a nice crisp lager. I definitely get the comparison of the Boston lager there.
I actually don't think this compares at all, but I think this does a really good job of probably being a realer Vienna lager.
Right. Boston lager is probably what Americans were probably looking for in that style of beer, which is probably why Sam's went that route a little bit on the maltier side.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This has definitely a less malt, so it's a little bit crisper from that stand. I'm going to give this one an 18.
I get more of the hops coming through on this beer.
I like it. It's got a little bit of like that, this is going to sound weird, but that new age lager feel to it. So when you go to a lager house, if you've ever been, one that does mainly lagers, they have like slightly muted feel to them sometimes. Like a good example of that would be East Rock Brewing. They have like a lot of muted feel to their beers. Like it's not as crisp, not as like sharp on the tongue as I would like.
I didn't think Vienna lagers were sharp, though.
No, but like I think of like the difference between like Wibby and East Rock. Like Wibbies are like crisper, sharper.
Yeah.
Like they're not as soft on the tongue as they are.
That's a better way of describing it, yeah.
So I like that in a lager. This is really good. This is excellent. I'm going to give this one a 17. If it was not as soft on the palate, I think that would be more my style. But again, great beer. It's all subjective. It doesn't matter.
It's just a matter of us going around drinking some delicious beers, no matter what. They're all going to be above 16 tonight, probably. Unless we
got to choose, so.
Unless we had a bum beer. Some of these beers we haven't had. Like, I think the Vienna lager is an example of one we started off with that we haven't had from Dovetail. None of us have had this beer, so I'm happy with it. Really tasty, and it does the style justice, so 17, solid.
You have to say I do like their can where it says, "We brew like monks minus the vows."
That's probably where that softness comes in. Beer
Because
brewed by monks has very soft usually, right?
Oh, I thought you were going to say because monks are quiet, usually.
They are, but like normally a beer brewed by monks,
Subdued.
they have a soft feel on the tongue.
Mm-hmm. Mouthfeel is important when you're drinking beer.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Or as you put it earlier, new agey.
New agey.
So just as a note to our listeners who think we're binge drinking here, we are doing like quarter pours from 12-ounce bottles for most of these. So we are not getting plastered.
No. Keep up the charade. I mean, some of these beers that we've had were like, we got this like really, really extremely rare beer from Fremont the last time we cleaned out Scott's fridge. Obviously, we had one of those. It wasn't like we all had a bomber each.
But we could have if we wanted to.
No, there was only one.
All I'm saying is drink responsibly.
No, we may have to add that to the disclaimer to all our episodes now. Please drink responsibly.
I don't think we have that much of a following, guys, where we have to worry about people trying to replicate what we're doing here.
I'm excited to try their Hefeweizen, which I'm hoping to do for an episode at some point in the future, because that mouthfeel of that Vienna lager, I think, translates more towards a Hefeweizen than it does some of the crisper lagers that I was hoping for.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be a much better fit.
Might be something to do with the yeast they use too.
Could be.
Yeah. So you're right. Maybe the Hefeweizen would be a better fit for their base ingredient. All right. What's next on our journey?
Oofda.
A what?
Oofda.
Oh, oofda. No way.
Because we don't have video, that was me holding the bottle in front of Erin so she could read that it's called Oofda.
This is a New Glarus beer. New Glarus, we did, I forget what episode number, but we did their flagship Spotted Cow, which is absolutely fantastic. New Glarus is one of those breweries that you can really only get if you got some good friends or you go straight to the state or source. So they're brewed out of, where are they brewed out of?
New Glarus, Wisconsin.
Oh, that makes sense.
Little buddy, fact check us. No. There's a place called New Glarus.
That's probably why it's New Glarus Brewing as opposed to like...
I wonder what Glarus is, like what?
Where original Glarus is from.
Yeah, what's Old Glarus?
So New Glarus is obviously on all of our lists because Cole and Christina talk them up all the time.
And Spotted Cow did not disappoint.
Right, Spotted Cow, go back and listen to that episode. Delicious. I think the reason we didn't make it out to the brewery on the road trip is we weren't overly close to New Glarus at all.
I think it's like an hour and a half the opposite way of where we were going.
Right.
So we're trying to make it back to the East Coast while hitting as many spots as possible.
We have a bottle of this. They don't really have a style on this for what it is.
You know what oofda means, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
Enlighten us.
Okay, so in Wisconsin speak, and correct me if I'm wrong here, peoples.
Nobody's going to correct you.
Not here, not you. The internet, please, shame me. Oofda is like it's a exclamation of woof.
Da.
Da.
That sounds made up.
That doesn't only tell me what type of beer this is.
It's not going to. Let's try it and find out.
Do you think
If
they
say,
messed up on this beer? Is that what you're saying? And
No,
they're just like, ugh,
No, I
da.
think no. I think when you drink it and you go oofda
In a good way or a bad way?
So just on
in a
the
Wisconsin
on
way.
the bottle it says it's a hearty and full body. It's hearty and full body. This is a big, in quotes, beer. It's brewed in the
Reinskebot.
tradition. So let's drink it.
Oh,
We have no idea what kind of style this is. It's just a big.
we did learn that they do abide by the Reinskebot because they did. That's where the guy
Yeah.
went to brewing.
Yep, that's true.
Part of the.
We learned that during the Spotted Cow episode, where our taste buds were taken on a journey by our friends who drink this beer often.
And they're still taking us on journeys, even when they're not here. Thanks, guys. This one is to Cole and Christina. Thank you very much.
Does this have an ABV on it, on the bottle?
Yeah, it's oofda.
Oofda.
No.
No.
But it is also one of the ones where it says we should probably drink it a smidge warmer than right out of the beer, out of the fridge.
Higher ABV, probably.
Oh,
So-
shit, that's good.
Let's try to guess the style. Oh, wow. We started our ratings way too high because now it doesn't do the justice of beers that we drink later.
No, it does, because we were rating on the style.
We don't know what style this is, though. This is a mystery style.
What was that mystery flavor? The white.
Oh, it's a white airhead.
the white airhead.
Or the white dum dum,
Yeah.
which do you know what the mystery flavor is?
No, but do you know what the white airhead is?
I'm assuming it's the same as the white dum dum.
It's a
I don't think
raspberry,
it is.
blue raspberry, yellow raspberry.
What's the white dum dum?
The white dum dum is when they change flavors and they're too lazy. They don't clean out the machine. So it's the blend of whatever previous flavor and the new flavor is. So every white dum dum is just different.
That might actually be the white airhead.
Little buddy, fact check us.
Way to increase production.
Little buddy is running out of battery power here. This is too many fact checks.
Plug him in.
He comes with the wrong charger.
Damn it, it's not a lightning plug.
No, he comes with the shitty Dell charger that's 200 watts too low. Can only trickle charge.
Is still using USB-A. This beer is fucking delicious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a Bach.
Oh,
It's at the very end. It gives it away. All right. Makes a lot of sense.
Bocks are interesting. They are one of my favorite types if we can find them. They're harder and harder to find these days, but they're very malty, very well balanced usually.
I don't think they're for the faint of heart usually. They're not
think
for the
so.
light day drinker types.
We're all professionals here, so.
Yeah, we're professionals here. Well, this is what we're trying to say. We're professionals, so
Yeah, we got paid
don't do this
$2 a
at
month.
Don't do this.
Split that 5 ways.
Thanks to our one Patreon subscriber.
This is delicious.
Another great Bach, I believe, is
Sebastian.
No.
But yes. What? You don't like Sebastian Bach?
Is he the
The
Rock of,
great Gilmore Girl actor.
Is he the Rock of Love guy?
Thought we were talking about BACH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the original Sebastian Bach, but the Sebastian Bach from
The Canadian singer.
I'm trying to remember the name of the band.
Alanis Morissette.
Skid Row.
Oh.
Yes.
Anyway.
Skid Row, Kings of Chaos, bunch of other bands, and he was in Gilmore Girls for a while.
Right.
He was the drummer in the band on Gilmore Girls.
Also, there's a band. You know what? Gave us a bad reputation here in Connecticut.
Oh, single-handedly.
Oh, Gilmore Girls, single-handedly.
Yeah, single-handedly. Gilmore Girls was the thing that who does like that name is so hard to say, and people love that show. I don't understand it. How do you talk about it if you could barely get it out? Gilmore Girls. It's really difficult, but I don't
how
think
you really feel.
I don't think they. I've never seen it. It's horrible to say. I don't think they single-handedly destroyed Connecticut's reputation, though.
No, I know. It's not destroying the reputation. I think it's a shitty show and people loved it. It's like Friends, but like worse somehow.
Yeah, because New York is more interesting in general than Connecticut.
Right. And Friends still managed to fuck it up.
Yep. Anyway, this beer pours an amber.
Seinfeld, greater than Friends.
Don't alienate our listeners. Or do. I don't care. So this pours an amber color, like a dark, clear amber color, and with a light head to it. And it is like the quintessential beer pour that you would see on like any beer commercial picture. But it's so complex and so delicious. I could drink this all day.
This is really good. What I was saying before is that one of the other great Bachs that I know of that I love is Long Trail Ale.
Yes, double bag.
Double bag's a double Bach.
A double Bach.
And the original is just the Bach. And it's very
Just
similar.
the bag.
It's just the bag, ma'am. And I think this might be better, but this is really, really good.
Yeah, I think this might be
But
better.
from our discussion with our Wisconsinites, the brewers from New Glarus went to Germany, learned to brew, came back, and they pretty much abide by the Reinheitsgebot, which is just yeast, malt, water,
Hops.
and that's it. And the types of hops, types of malt, whatever they have in their water, all of it works together. And this is a fantastic, fantastic thing. This is a 19 out of 20 for me for a Bach. This is great. Oofda.
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 To fact check where Old Glarus is, it's in Switzerland.
So Old Glarus.
Old Glarus is in Switzerland?
Yeah. New Glarus it's interesting because they settled in a place with absolutely no mountains. Must have been disappointing.
This beer is delicious. Unfortunately, in where we are, there's not a lot of places that do Bachs, so it's not a style we get to have very often. So I don't have a lot to compare it to. But yeah, this is delicious. Not knowing the ABV, this could be dangerous because this is a very drinkable beer.
Mm-hmm.
Bachs are probably around 7%, I guess.
Some of them get higher, though. The doubles are higher.
Yeah, I don't think this is a double.
Who knows? Oofda.
Oofda.
It's everything the others have said and probably more. It's very, very drinkable. I'm going to give this an 18.
I can see this being a double, tasting it, taste-wise. Yeah, as this warms up, I think you probably taste the alcohol a bit more. I would give this a 19. I really do like this style. Very, very delicious beer. Thank you again from our friends in Wisconsin.
We miss you.
We really hope to get to this brewery in person to taste all their wares? No, you don't taste wares.
Suds. Imbibe all their suds.
Imbibe. To imbibe.
So we're going to do a West Coast brewery next, and we are going to do North Coast Brewing.
This is one of the few breweries that Aaron and I haven't been to on the West Coast that we've been meaning to get to.
Brag.
Yeah, it is a brag because we're brewery travel agents here. That's what we are.
Oh, yeah. No, that's why.
Part of our job description.
It's because we're very responsible people and we're just doing our job research for our job. Yes. What is up next? We're going to the West Coast.
Going West Coast.
West Coast.
To find a brewery
West
that
Coast,
we
West Coast.
West Coast, question mark. West Coast versus East Coast, I think. To find a brewery that we haven't, that we would love to go to, and we haven't been to collectively.
Because on that road trip, Aaron and I did a bunch. The one we didn't get to that we really wanted to get to was Stone. But Scott has been to Stone twice.
Once on company's dime, which was awesome.
Nope.
It was allowed back then.
We're
At
not
the time
giving-
of my trip, it was part of the policy.
You did go to dinner there. That's fine. It's fair.
Hello everyone, today I'm doing ghosty numbers.
Apologies.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at D&D dice makers, paint dice.
Put your stupid phone away.
Business, Eric. All right.
So I've been to Stone, so that one fell off the list. And we had settled on North Coast Brewing.
Actually, we settled on Rogue. But couldn't find anything from Rogue around here, which is crazy.
On the West Coast side, Eric and Aaron have not been to Stone, but I have, so that was not an option. We then were trying to pick Rogue to highlight a different state other than California, because a lot of the California breweries are very well known. Unfortunately, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of the West Coast beers are harder and harder to find out on the East Coast. So then next in line was North Coast Brewing Company out of Fort Bragg, California. And we are going to be drinking Prankster, which is a Belgian-style gold ale.
So North Coast is famous for...
Old Rasputin.
Old Rasputin for sure, but I think they're an OG. I believe they're an OG in the craft beer game. Been around for a long time. They have the other one, Red Seal.
Yes.
That's another big one. We used to be able to find that a lot around here, and now you can't.
Nope.
And the fact that I actually don't remember the last time I saw this beer.
I was lucky to pick it up because I think we have done or plan to cover Old Rasputin.
Yeah, we will at some point.
Yeah, so I wanted to get away from something that tried not to duplicate beer reviews and beer tastings. And we were able to stumble across this one. So this will give us a good moving along on the Belgium train here.
Belgium.
Easier to end it with an M than it is with an N.
How so?
Belgian. I don't know. N's are difficult.
What?
Yeah. That's why your name is easier to say than my name. Because your name doesn't have an N.
What if it was Aram? That's way harder to say.
No,
than
Aram is easy.
No, it's not.
It's like harem. It's easy.
It's terrible.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
This is fantastic. I think I've never had anything from North Coast where I'm like, I'm disappointed. I want to drink that again. I think I could walk up to any packy store shelf, blindly grab a North Coast 6 or a 4-pack or 6-pack or whatever they're selling it in and be happy with it. This is delicious.
Yeah, this is a great representation of the style. Honestly, builds upon everything North Coast has always done, always had. It is yeasty, unfiltered, just goodness.
Now that I'm looking at it, yeah, it is. I wish I didn't see it.
I really like this beer. I don't like this style that much, but I really like this beer. And I think that speaks to how well North Coast brews. I don't know. It's somehow like kind of crisp, not too crisp. I don't know. This is a Belgian Golden.
Belgian Golden.
This is, I gotta give this one a 20 out of 20. This might be the best Belgian Golden I've ever had. So for those of you trying to travel to the West Coast, or for those of you stationed at Fort Bragg, don't skip on anything they got because it's good.
Yeah.
I believe that's in the northern part of California, right?
Yes,
Yes.
northern part. It's a little further north than what our trip took us last time we were there.
Yeah, we went all the way to Chico, California to go to Sierra Nevada. and then back down to hit a couple of really famous ones. And this was one of the ones where we're like, oh, we could kind of get there, but the timing just didn't work out.
Yeah, so when this pours, I think the top, you have to roll this glass because the top probably pours clean. And as you get towards the bottom, the unfiltered yeast comes through. So Scott got all the yeasty flavor crystals.
Flavor crystals.
I don't think that compromised the beer's taste.
Yeah, that goes unfortunately to sharing bottles. It might get slightly different flavors between the three of us based on how a beer like this pours. But yeah, I don't think it matters which section of the bottle you get if you're splitting a bottle of this stuff.
It says it's brewed with antique yeast.
So is that because there's, what's the year to be an antique car?
It's 20 years.
It's probably a 20-year-old yeast. If not
Older.
Older, yeah.
You don't have to pay, you pay a slightly lower registration on this yeast than you would.
You don't have to pay you don't have to do emissions.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to.
No, but you got to pay for the vanity license plate.
There you go.
This is really good.
I'm going to give this one a 19.
I might have to give this one a 20.
And it rounds up to a 20. This is good. I really like this one.
Any
Did
more
they have
notes?
anything else from North Coast there or no?
No, I only found this one. Or maybe not. I just,
That's
they probably had
Old
Old Rasputin.
Old Rasputin is usually the only one I ever see out here at this point
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, it's
And even
really-
then, it's like there's like 2 4-packs sitting on a shelf, and that's it.
Yeah. And it took me a little bit to look at the bottle and put 2 and 2 together that this North Coast was the North Coast brewery that we were looking for. I was almost like, maybe it's
So North
another-
Coast, if you're listening, ship more stuff out to the East Coast.
I think it's the
Please.
Pretty
brewery.
please.
I think it's the distributors. You got to yell at.
You yell at your distributors.
I don't have distributors.
Well, let's go.
I
Let's
was
all.
talking to North Coast. North Coast, you yell at your distributors to bring your stuff to the East Coast.
This is what our representation in Congress is for, right?
Yes, let's all email Rosa DeLaura.
Yeah.
Now they know where we're from.
I think we've said Connecticut. Well, we said Gilmore Girls. Made me say it again.
It doesn't end in an M, damn it.
It starts in 2 G's. Moving on. Yeah, I get this a 20. I don't think any of us gave tasting notes, but this kind of it's slight sweetness, light, easy drinking beer that is slightly above 7%, I believe. It has a light tasting notes of Belgium, but of a Belgian beer. So it's like a light on the lighter side of a Belgian beer. It's very good.
Yeah, comparing it to the other Belgian we had today, it is definitely on the lighter side. The yeast is a little bit more balanced compared to Three Philosophers, where it's not as in your face.
But I think that's kind of the style. That's why I think this one deserves a 20 out of 20 from my end, is that normally prevalent yeast tones from a Belgian are not. They're muted. They're there, but they're muted, which to me I like.
Mm-hmm. If you want, there's a little bit more at the bottom. You might be able to get some more yeast.
Ooh, pass.
So this is our one West Coast recommendation for this episode.
Now we're going to fly back home.
We're going to fly back home.
We're going to overshoot just a tiny bit.
Just a smidge. Yeah, we're going to overshoot, and we're going to wind up in Maine, and we're going to make a stop at Allagash Brewing.
Yeah.
Woo!
So Allagash is one of those breweries that is probably not too far of a drive for the East Coast gang here,
It's a commitment.
It's a day. It's
a
at least
day.
an entire day.
but it's not a terrible drive. Allagash is one of those breweries that kind of timed the market right for entering distribution. Like,
I don't know. See, I don't know if that's true because we live in the Northeast. So,
well, at least for the Northeast market, I feel like they kind of timed the market before like Connecticut breweries exploded.
I did.
So like they kind of got in ground level in our area almost before other breweries could
I think they're an OG.
establish the market.
No, I think they're an OG.
Little buddy fact check.
Allagash has been around for a long time. They actually similar to everything we've had today, which is I don't know why we're going so heavy on the Belgians, but
It's because you didn't pick up any of the beers.
the ones that I brought, we decided not to do.
Exactly.
Allagash it's similar to Ommegang. They do primarily Belgian stuff, but they also have offshoots of other styles of beers. They do a lot of sours. They do a lot of other things, and they do it very well. And if you haven't been, it's worth a trip. Aaron and I did get to go there once, but it was during COVID, so we're not counting it.
Well,
all you could do was
there you
walk
go.
up to the brewery, get your beers, and walk out, which is the same as going to a liquor store. So we're not going to count that. We're going to have to go back. But they do have in their parking lot the best lobster truck
Yes.
in all of New England.
Possibly, yes. Yeah.
Possibly the world, because if you're the best in New England, you're probably the best in the world.
A lot of people know Allagash for Allagash White, which is...
That's Blue Moon on steroids,
Exactly.
and it's really good.
It's a Belgian white. Pairs perfectly with breakfast and a slice of orange.
Or any meal of the day.
No,
You don't have to be an alcoholic.
No, you don't, but it does pair well with breakfast.
Yeah.
Again,
You
please
don't have to
drink
be an
responsibly.
alcoholic to enjoy breakfast. I don't understand.
What we're drinking today, however, is Nocturna, trademarked.
Trademarked?
It says TM.
Damn.
Oh.
They know their business.
It's a bourbon barrel aged stout with vanilla. So this is a super specialty beer. Not sure how often they release this, but this particular bottle we're drinking was bottled on August 26th of 2021 at 9:02. Not sure if that's AM or PM, but
Were we there that day?
Oh, wait, say that again? The date?
August 26th
Your
of
birthday.
21.
That's her birthday.
Oh, that is my birthday. Oh, we should have saved this. Happy birthday to me early. And happy birthday to me on 2021.
This is your birthday beer, apparently.
It's a birthday beer. Yeah, it could be.
What's that? What did they used to have on Bud Light? The born on date?
Well, if it's was it barreled or like brewed?
Bottled on.
Bottled on. Is
Yeah.
that when it's born when it's bottled?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it'd be born when when the yeast starts pooping out alcohol. That's when it's born.
Life begins at canning.
Damn it. Fuck.
So this is a delicious bourbon barrel aged stout. It's been 2.5 years. I can't math right now.
Just subtract my age from 2021.
Yeah.
3.5. It's been aging about 3.5 years at this point. There is not a lot of the alcohol taste typically associated that I typically notice with a barrel aged beer like this. So this is delicious. It's very smooth. There's no alcohol burn to it.
There's also very little flavor takeover of the barrel that it was in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's on the lighter side of a barrel aged beer. It's like a deep dark brown versus like a midnight black that you would normally get from a barrel age.
Yeah, it's not motor oil.
So, yeah.
And it clocks in at 9.5%.
Pretty
So
solid.
this for sure would be dangerous given there's not a lot of alcohol flavor to it. That these would go down pretty easy during a night.
This feels a lot lighter than it drinks, for sure.
During a nocturne trademark.
I'm gonna give this a 19.
I might have to give this a 20. The vanilla comes through a little bit. And like you said, it's not overpowering, but it just like hints at the end and keeps you going back for a little bit more.
I have to agree with Short Stack on this one. This is a 20 for me. I don't care what beer this is. This is really good.
It's not a Belgium.
It's not anything. It's a Nocturne trademark. And for
It's-
all the Nocturne trademarks I've had,
So
It's Nocturna.
oh,
There's an A at the end.
that's why they can trademark it.
no, we trademarked Nocturne.
So I think what Allagash does really well is flavors, brings like a clean style, which we can all agree on is probably the best type of beer. I think they're definitely known for their flavors first and foremost, like mashing flavors up perfectly together.
Yeah, but they're also known for their Belgians. Like their quad is a very famous quad. Yeah, I guess quad.
That has flavors in it too. But
Are you talking adjunct flavors, or are you just talking?
adjunct flavors, yeah.
There's no adjunct flavors in the quad.
Well, no, there's not, but I think they are known for like tastefully adding adjunct flavors versus what about the orange in their Allagash White?
part of Belgian white is the orange.
What about, I think they have a restaurant.
All I know is they have a lobster food truck parked outside, so they
probably don't have a restaurant. Whenever I think Allagash, though, I think like farm to table type beers.
That's what they want you to think.
This is definitely a brewery that Ash and I had planned on visiting, and we actually had the trip sort of laid out in April of 2020. And obviously, as we all know, what happened a month earlier. And
When'd you plan it?
We planned it like early February of 2020. Things didn't really start happening till early March. We were talking about doing the trip like early to mid-February to plan for like an early April to mid-April trip to just kind of get away for a weekend type thing. And unfortunately, we had to cancel. So this is still on my list to go visit for sure.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the theme of the episode. All of these breweries are high on the list. Destinations.
Yeah, and maybe not so well-known ones. Like we're not talking about go to Sierra Nevada, go to Rogue, go to Stone.
Well, we actually wanted to talk about those.
Yeah, but we've all been there.
What would be the other more popular ones?
Sam Adams.
Harpoon.
Yeah.
Founders, Omegang.
No, see, Founders, sure, but Omegang, probably not.
Yeah, Omegang might.
North Coast? Come on.
Yeah, so Allagash is right outside Portland.
No, it's in Portland.
Oh, it is in Portland?
Yeah.
It's like right outside the center of the city, though.
Yeah, it's on the outskirts of Portland, but it's
Yeah.
in Portland.
Yeah, right inside the outskirts of the city.
In Portland. If you see a brewery, go visit it.
Yeah, I mean, unless they have like a 3.5 review on Yelp.
No.
Still go visit it. I have stumbled upon some very good breweries on many a trips where it's near the hotel. You go and stop by and check it out, and it's very good, regardless on what online says or if there's a website or an Instagram. You just support local, obviously, as much as you can. And if you're listening to this episode and feel there's a brewery that we should go visit, comment on the Instagram post, send us an email, whatever, and maybe we'll try and make it out there one day.
Let us know where your brewery is.
Yeah, give us your top 5 breweries you want to get to.
Give us your top 5 beers.
No, stop giving them lists to do.
So thank you for listening to the Purgatorious Pig Tavern podcast. Go follow us on your podcast listening platform. And if we're not on it, I don't know how you're listening to us right now. So follow us on Instagram, join our Discord page, send us an email if you want. It's all in our link tree. You can find that on Instagram. Thanks for listening. This has been a Would You Do Widgets production.
Boop.